prejudice.
Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're giving you our picks for the 10 most underrated superhero games.
I love the smell of pancakes in the morning. Smells like victory.
For this list, we're looking at the superhero games that we thought to be just as mighty as the bigger titles, but don't get as much love as they should. What superhero game do you think deserves more attention? Did it make our list? Let us know down in the comments. Before we begin, we publish new videos all week long, so be sure to subscribe to MojoPlays and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Batman Begins. Before the Arkham games gave us the ultimate Batman experience, we had this surprisingly fun romp based on the first movie, Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. From the combat to stealth to even the Tumblr sections, just about everything we love about Rocksteady's Arkham games can be traced back to this one. It's just a real shame that Batman Begins always seems to get left out of the conversation when talking about good superhero or good Batman games. Is it as polished as the series it would inspire? Probably not, but the way developer Eurocom worked with whatever technical limitations it faced at the time was truly impressive. Really, how did they get this running on GameCube of all consoles? Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'm watching. You ain't! Drax, what are you doing?
I am holding my buttocks as Peter Quill instructed.
Square Enix really squandered their potential in delivering a quality Avengers game, so much so that the backlash kind of affected this one. Developed by Eidos Montreal, Guardians of the Galaxy was unfortunately eked out into the public without any fanfare from its own publisher.
You flarkin' piece of moldy driftwood! You could have died saving me!
Those who did try it out found that despite certain disappointing design choices, such as only playing as Star-Lord for the entire game, there was still plenty to cherish here. Commanding the rest of the Guardians allowed for interesting, intense combat scenarios, and while the comedy can be hit or miss for some, the times where it does hit, it hit hard. This is actually worth your time.
Come on, cut him down!
About time!
My great strength is underutilized!
Deadpool.
Hey, what's that? You guys tracking my every move now? But I haven't even accomplished anything in this game yet.
But if you want a superhero game that leans super hard into the comedy, Deadpool is absolutely worth your time, assuming you can find a physical copy somewhere that is not charging hundreds of dollars. In between all the hacking and slashing of nameless goons, you'll come across interactive gags where Deadpool constantly breaks the fourth wall.
I love the smell of pancakes in the morning. Smells like victory.
Blow up a bouncy castle, call up Nolan North, slap the ever-loving crap out of Wolverine. There's so much that is just, you're gonna die playing this game. If you love Deadpool, this is gonna be the end for you. There's also something about Mr. Sinister and time travel or something like that, but Cable is too boring for us to pay attention to, really. But hey, the X-Men babes are there, so there is plenty of reason for you to fork over hundreds of dollars for a physical copy after all. You can't buy it digitally, though, because Activision lost the license years ago.
Yeah, that was fun! Yeah, it was okay.
Batman the Brave and the Bold, the video game.
We're too late.
Maybe not.
Hey, look! It's the Batman! See, I told you guys he was still... Save the speech, Whiskers. We already heard it.
Don't worry, we're not going to flood the list with a bunch of small Batman titles, but Brave and the Bold deserves some recognition here. Based on the TV series of the same name, Batman the Brave and the Bold, the video game, has Batman team up with various other DC heroes to take down criminal masterminds. as Player 1 is forced to be the Mario character for the entire game, Player 2 gets a new toy to play with every level as they take control of Robin, Blue Beetle, Plastic Man, and more. It's good arcadey fun, and with it being developed by Way Forward, you know it's nothing less than great.
Respect the ring.
Spawn in the Demon's Hand. Spawn hasn't really had a good track record when it comes to video games. Armageddon was decent, but then we had, Spawn Eternal, and we can't ever seem to get a good Spawn game for some reason. But In the Demon's Hand is much more deserving of attention. As one of 37 characters pulled from the comics, you'll take on hordes of grunts in order to lure out the boss. Admittedly, the controls do take some time to get used to. This was an arcade game ported to the Dreamcast, and we've all seen how horrendous that controller is. But for the most part, it's an arcadey game that not only fits the violence of the IP, but also the crazy nature of classic power-up fueled Capcom games. If only it wasn't stranded forever on the Dreamcast. The Invincible Iron Man. Funny how when it comes to Iron Man video games, no one ever seems to bring up this hidden gem made for the Game Boy Advance. Now, we'll be honest, there isn't exactly anything special here. It plays a lot like classic 2D action platformers like Mega Man or even Earthworm Jim, but there's nothing wrong with that. It still borrows many ideas from those two games and executes on their mechanics rather well, delivering a solid game for Iron Man fans. And it doesn't overstay its welcome either. You can finish the game in roughly an hour, assuming you know what you're doing, which you probably do. Superman: Shadow of Apokolips. The Man of Steel has had a worse career in video games than Spawn, so much so that Shadow of Apokolips is often overshadowed by, Superman 64 or even Superman Returns, which I'm actually a fan of that one. Superman Returns I thought was okay. This really was a far better game though than most folks remember. And the use of the same voice actors from Superman the Animated Series. The powers made combat really fun, even if they were sometimes just a tad broken, but hey, at least you really felt like Superman compared to any other game he's had. SpiderMan Web of Shadows. So many great Spider-Man spin-offs went under the radar as we progressed through the PS3 and Xbox 360's glory days. You had Edge of Time, Shattered Dimensions, Friend or Foe, but no game suffered a bigger injustice than Web of Shadows.
A little chat.
Simmons agreed.
Yes, they did. And I suggest you do the same.
Take the gameplay of Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 and add in improved combat controls, more heroes and foes from Spidey's history, and even a karma system that can affect your summons in combat as well as your story. Why folks didn't latch onto this one is beyond us. You all missed out, guys. This game was actually the Spider-Man game. Well, until Insomniac, but that's besides the point.
Okay, yeah. You're not just irritating. You are Spider-Man.
Glad we could figure that out without gutting me.
XMen Legends.
Think you're bad, Mutie?
I need help right now.
When it comes to Marvel and RPGs, we all usually start gawking over Marvel Ultimate Alliance, but XMen Legends had a similar formula and layout that provided an equally thrilling adventure. Take control of 15 different X-Men, ranging from Wolverine and Colossus to Psylocke and Rogue. in order to stop Magneto from unleashing Asteroid M.
How this is gonna hurt you a lot more than it hurts me.
Combat was the main reason to play this game, as every member brought their own powers and upgrades to the table. And of course, having a full team of 4 players made it an awesome game night with friends. Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Payback's gonna be fun.
Let me tell you all, you slept on this game. Where were you all back in December 2022, huh? Where was everybody when Marvel Midnight Suns launched? Well, many of you were off dawdling around in games that were a month old when you could have been hanging out with your favorite Marvel heroes like Blade and SpiderMan and Deadpool and Nico Minoru and Ghost Rider, Magic and Wolverine and Deadpool and Spider-Man and Deadpool again. But no, it's a card game, and card games are gross.
Oh, serve Lilith for
Honestly, there is no reason for anybody to dismiss Marvel's Midnight Suns, okay? While the writing can be described as MCU style, it is this style that we loved about all the MCU movies of the early days. It's what we loved about Iron Man, Avengers, the first Thor, the first Captain America, and the films that came before that. It's so clever and funny. And as for the combat, nothing is more satisfying than being able to line up hits and area effects and aiming knockback for additional damage and just pulling off some insane maneuvers. Plus, you had clever combat scenarios to unlock new abilities and costumes for not just you, the hunter, but also for the other Marvel heroes. Don't sleep on this. This game, at the time I'm recording this game has been going on sale for like $30 every month or two. Go get Marvel Midnight Suns. They just finished the DLC. This game is amazing.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, there's more where that came from.